He was the ultimate celebrity insider, a doctor who took care of Hugh Hefner and had the run of the Playboy Mansion, but not anymore. Witnesses say the doctor victimized young women, and now he could end up in jail. John Schwada has the story.
Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion parties and hospitality are legendary. For his celebrity guests and friends, Hefner's generosity can be breathtaking. But now, according to Playboy Enterprises, Saginaw, seen here recently on the Sunset Strip, is banned from the Playboy Mansion. Saginaw is charged with 2 counts of furnishing quaaludes and cocaine to the 19-year-old, and 1 count each of possessing cocaine, a drug smoking pipe, and an illegal assault weapon. He has pleaded not guilty.
This is a very sad, sad story.
Attorney Peter Knecht is defending Saginaw, who has gone into rehab in the last few days.
This is a doctor that is addicted to drugs. He's in rehab for it. Of course it's wrong to furnish drugs.
But the attorney insists Saginaw has not assaulted any young women or tried to lure them into prostitution.
He's not totally broke, but he's not the kind of guy that needs to be a pimp. Anyone that would go home with a 68-year-old man for any reason to his apartment after being at the mansion, should know what to expect.
Celebrity justice.
Anna Nicole Smith's former flame, Jane Velez Mitchell, was in court for the sentencing.
His freedom at stake, Mark Hatton came to court and begged the judge to be lenient and give him probation.
I'm not a bad person. I basically walked away from this fight, and I've never used a weapon on anybody in my life.
Prosecutor David Stewart says Hatton's been ordered to stay away from the TV star when he is finally freed.
You'll never hear about me bothering Anna Nicole again. Bet the farm on that.
But Hatton then demanded back his bizarre paintings of Anna Nicole, which had been brought to court as evidence of Hatton's obsession.
He wants to keep them for, maybe publicity value in the future, maybe for memories, and maybe for a book.
Hatton's lawyer, Peter Knecht, says a possible tell-all book will be Hatton's only retaliation.
We're joined by criminal defense attorney Peter Knecht, who has the who's who of Hollywood as his clientele. This is a scene from the hit movie Jeepers Creepers 2, which, according to syndicated columnist Michelle Malkin, is a teen horror flick directed by a stomach-turning registered sex offender. Is Hollywood protecting a child molester? We're joined by criminal defense attorney Peter Knecht. Peter, you've represented a number of sort of high-profile fights. What do you think of Victor Salva?
Well, as you indicated, this is a 15-year-old case, and as we know, even recently, Hollywood is always very forgiving, especially when people have talent. And
well, I guess the question is he too forgiving? I mean, is Hollywood just, in it because he is a moneymaker?
When I represented Robert Downey Jr. in Malibu, I got firsthand taste of the forgiveness that was coming his way. Also this year or last year, we saw how Roman Polanski was awarded he couldn't even come to the United States. The government wouldn't forgive him. The state of California wouldn't forgive him. He couldn't come and pick up his trophy. But yet, he had the talent, and he got the award. Downey is considered a national treasure in the entertainment business because he has talent and he makes the bucks. So if you make the bucks, you're going to be forgiven in Hollywood.
Is it somewhat distasteful, even though it is legal, that he's still directing minors? I mean, don't you think on the surface this is not where he should be?
In our country, the most vulnerable children and elderly people, it's most reprehensible to digest that kind of a story and like this kind of a person. People who are most vulnerable should be protected. And in 1996, California enacted the Violent Sex Offender Act, which is, I think, 6600 of the Welfare and Institutions Code, which now, when a person serves his term in prison in California, in 6 months before his release, he's evaluated by board-certified psychiatrists. If he doesn't pass the test and he's still considered a danger, he'll be placed in a mental hospital and he will have to stay there for 2 years before reevaluation. So we've plugged a lot of loopholes in California regarding violent sex offenders, including this act.
The man who allegedly offered to help Kobe Bryant solve his problem made his first court appearance in California today. We're joined tonight by his attorney from Los Angeles, Peter Knecht. Mr. Knecht, thanks for coming on the program.
Hi, Dan.
So what is the defense here? That he wasn't actually offering to kill Kobe's accuser?
The district attorney has to prove that he intended to go through with the act. That's going to be a tough burden, because I don't think they have anything but his dialogue, and he has a fraud conviction in Switzerland. And the question will ultimately be, was this merely an attempted grand theft bunco scheme, or was he for real? Number one, he sent the offer to do this in by fan mail, and he did it FedEx with a credit card, and he did it with his phone number.
Why was it possible that he's just an idiot, and he did this, as many criminals do, in a very dumb way?
It's ludicrous to believe that this thing is done in such an unsophisticated manner. It's like unorganized crime.
But he's saying he was a member. He's saying he was a member of the organized crime. The authorities aren't saying it was part of a Russian mob.
He's saying, hey, he was good enough to get himself arrested, wasn't he? You know, he said a lot of things, but that doesn't mean he was going to carry out the act. And incidentally, that section of the penal code in California, that's a 3-strike state, doesn't consider this a serious or violent crime. It's not a strike.
Celebrity justice.
Marvin Gaye, a music icon, and like his father, Marvin III has had some drug problems, and on Monday was ordered to go before an LA County judge. CJ caught up with him outside the courthouse.
Can I ask you why you're in court today?
Paid traffic ticket. Just a traffic ticket?
Yeah. Nothing much going on?
It's all taken care of, as a matter of fact.
Well, not exactly. Prosecutors accuse Gaye of violating his probation, and Gaye's lawyer, Peter Knecht, admits his client was struggling with his drug treatment.
He was on probation, but he was faltering.
But Knecht says part of the problem is Gaye has been ill and on all kinds of medication that has been interfering with his drug program.
He's having a lot of difficulty maintaining that program, and rightly so, because he has diabetes and he has other ailments.
Knecht says despite Gaye's legal problems, he seems to be holding up.
He seems to be doing well considering what's going on in his life, you know, physically and emotionally.
After her arrest for pandering, Alex had to decide what to do with her single most valuable possession, her little black book with the names of her clients. No matter how Heidi got her hands on the black book, the names, numbers, and sexual desires found inside put her in business. Apparently, Madam Alex wasn't smart enough to keep the black book away from Heidi. Alex's attorney, Peter Knecht.
You can't expect somebody to be an underling forever. People have got to grow in life in any business. So you can't expect somebody to not grow. And Alex was the type of person that wouldn't begrudge that to anyone, even Heidi. It was the manner in which maybe the relationship ended, and the hostility it provoked. Alex never begrudged success to anyone.
Peter Knecht is Graber's attorney. Mr. Knecht, good morning.
Good morning, Kelly.
Police said that they had put together a big satchel of money, most of it fake movie money, with some real dollars on top.
Unfortunately, I think they had a premature arrest. According to what I know of this case, he never saw the money and never touched it. I think he was told that the money was in the car. They walked him over to it and arrested him. At this point, we don't know whether he would have accepted it or not. There may be other reasons that he did this other than what we now speculate.
Today on the CJ Docket.
Graber's lawyer, Peter Knecht, is doing damage control, insisting his client never intended to harm anyone, and that undercover deputies who busted Graber may have thought he was serious because of his look and thick Schwarzenegger-sounding accent.
He's from Switzerland, which is right next to Austria. He talks like Arnold. You know, when people talk like that, it's, you know, they can get away with things, I guess, that most people can't get away with.
So when investigators announced they were looking into Graber's alleged ties to the Russian mafia, Knecht found it amusing.
If the Russian mafia heard they were related to this thing, they'd turn over in their graves. Obviously, an unsophisticated approach like that, with a tracking number, a FedEx, a credit card, and a phone number, all leading to his name, it doesn't appear mafia-orientated.
Graber's attorney again today saying this wasn't organized crime, but disorganized crime.
Someday a jury's going to have to decide Whether he intended to kill this victim or intended to run off with the money or whatever the reasons we decide we're going to place in the defense.
And he has a fraud conviction in Switzerland.
Yep. And that's a matter of history.
Your belief is it's a fraud case?
I'm not going to tell you what I believe, but I'm going to tell you this. It is not a solicitation for murder case.